First, my apologies to the sailors. But you've heard that phrase, spending like drunken sailors. Well, that is Joe Biden. And even more so, as I say, Biden is making the drunken sailors look wise when it comes to spending, especially in the face of the inflation that we're having right now. Now, listen, we elected Joe Biden, and I love Joe. I love the presidency. I love everything about the White House. I read every single day some bit of presidential biographies. So I'm all in. And when we elected this guy, we knew we were electing an old geezer who was mumbling and fumbling and bumbling around. We were okay with that because we couldn't stand the rock'em sock'em robot that is Trump anymore. I get it. But when it comes to the economy, when it comes to spending, it's really important. You can't imagine how much it means to every one of us. And I just can't stand it. You know, we laugh at Joe when he falls down the steps. We laugh at the gaffes and the ridiculous things that he says from time to time. But when it comes to what he says about the economy, it makes me mad. When he says how great the economy is or how he is reducing the deficit by records, never seen before. Let me give you some bare facts. He just released his budget proposal for 2024. Here's the only numbers you need to know. The total budget number is $7 trillion the government will spend. And the CBO projects revenues in that same period of $5 trillion. For you mathematically challenged, that is a $2 trillion deficit in 1 year. What the heck is he talking about? That he's reducing deficits in record numbers. Listen, you go to the White House website. Here's what it says in the introduction to this budget. Quote, "This budget details the plan to invest in America, lower costs, and cut taxes for working families." End quote. What? What lower costs? For who and on what? And lowering taxes? Are you kidding me? Again, where? I don't see that. I want to know more about that. This guy and his administration just lies incredibly. And they're talking about how good the economy is. Again, let me give you two quick numbers. 2022, the inflation rate for the year, over 6%. Do you realize how bad that is? We haven't seen that in 40 years. It is tragic. And even worse is the GDP was around 1% for the year. We're not producing stuff like this country has the ability to do. If Joe really wanted to be courageous, he should stand up right away and say, you know what? I'm going to reduce government spending, maybe not by much, but by at least a little. And secondly, I'm going to command, order every bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. to go through every regulation, eliminate what they can, reduce what they can, pause what they can. I want every industry to have the power to, produce stuff like never before. This is the one country uniquely able to do that. We can fill every shelf with everything, not just here, but throughout the world. And yes, people's going to get rich. Wall Street will boom. But you know what? Americans will be better off, and even the government will make more revenues through that. But you're not going to hear that because they don't care. Our government does not care about working families. You need to understand that. And that's just who we are now. So we're just going to have to submit to the COVID, to the climate change, the racial equity. And good luck.